Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to What's Up Wednesday. Our big topic tonight is RVer YouTube gear. Yes, even RVers need to get some tips and tricks on YouTube gear, whether you're YouTubing or not. That's what tonight's special audience viewer question of the week is all about. My name is Scott. Welcome to another What's Up Wednesday. This is episode 30 continuous weeks. And another Wednesday has passed us and arrived. And just so glad you're joining us on the live session tonight and watching the replay. I'm curious where you are watching from. I'm coming at you from Tulsa, Oklahoma, in a casino parking lot, about 20 minutes outside of downtown Tulsa. I'm staying at an Audience Angel tonight, and we're doing Route 66. We're doing a lot around Route 66, and I'd love to know where you're watching from tonight. Where on earth are you coming in from? We got a few folks here. Let's kind of take a look at them. And Merry-Go-Round is still in Las Vegas, I assume Nevada. It turns out there's one in New Mexico too. Here's Webster, Pennsylvania. That's awesome. Thanks for joining tonight. Roger and Jane from Byron, some awesome Audience Angels there. They joined us for a caravan recently. Here's Salty Medic. Good to see you. Mr. Trower, thank you for inviting me in as an Audience Angel staying in your driveway for the next couple of nights in Tulsa. Even has shore power, which is critical in a hot summer. Let me tell you. Michigan coming in, and there Mike's coming in to joining us. He caravaned with us in Pontiac as well. Fort Worth, Kim and Tim, good to see you. Joining us in Oklahoma City is so great. So just let us know where you're watching from. We got a big show tonight. The question of the week is around YouTube gear. We're going to hit that off at about 15 minutes after the top of the hour. So if you're here just for that topic, hang in there. I've got a lot of stuff to cover with you. Gear, what to do, what not to do. Lessons all learned the hard way, may I tell you. So stay tuned for that. Upcoming events, Route 66. Go to my website, gosmalllivelarge.com, and you will see on the front page we got a bunch of Route 66 stuff planned. I'm running Route 66 Chicago to LA, 2,400 miles. I'm about almost halfway there, not quite. And it's been an amazing journey, and I want you to come along with me for some of those, either a roundup where you meet for a few hours, or a caravan where you run 150 miles in a day, kind of a start-stop point. And we got our second one coming up. First one was an absolute blast. And I just enjoy meeting you, and we see the sights together. That's, to me, what it's all about, just a little bit of fellowship around the van life. And man, are we on the move. If you like van stuff, if you like places, if you like to see where your van can take you, subscribe to the channel. We are growing like crazy right now. And look at that route plan, ladies and gentlemen. California up into the West Coast, and then through the Rockies, and then into the Southwest, and then Nashville, and then home base for a few weeks in Christmas time. So no guests tonight. You just got little old me, and we're going to talk about YouTuber gear, or whether you just want to be a better photographer or just capture a little bit better video. Speaking of guests, next week we have Jack Johnson, co-founder and CTO of Volta, is joining us. This is his second time on the show, and you will want to join, particularly if you're looking at lithium-ion equipped Class B motor coaches. Why? Because Brand X, Lithionics, wants to talk about their UL rated listing, which is important. And while Volta didn't choose that path specifically, a number of reasons, they've gotten 5 really different certifications that Jack is coming on to tell us about and teach us why these certifications are equal to, better than. Let him tell the story. So if you're, again, shopping for a lithium-equipped coach, by the way, in a casino, 84 degrees outside, running my air conditioner, thank you, Volta. Can't tell you how freeing having a lithium-ion equipped Class B is. But Jackson, come on and tell us all about their certifications and why they matter to you as the customer. And follow the journey. My website, again, has a lot of information. We have an email sign up that keeps you posted. And when I'm traveling, like you see on days where there are travel days, doing Route 66, I post along the route and just have a lot of fun following me on Instagram. Just go to Instagram, just type in Go Small Live Large, and you'll find me there. Recent video, boy, this was a home run. I didn't realize how exciting this video was. Well over 10,000, maybe even 18,000 views in just under a week. And less than that, gosh. And what made this one cool is Chinook, a kind of a storied brand in the RV business, is building Class Bs, or back in the business. and we're going to meet the owner, I think, when we get to Las Vegas, Nevada. And what made this van really intriguing to me is it had a dry bath, which means it's a separate toilet and shower, not a wet bath, which is what I have behind the door right there. So you shower with your toilet, okay by me, but this one has a dry bath. If you haven't seen that, you want to check that out. Coming up this Saturday is I canceled my factory service at Winnebago headquarters in Forest City, Iowa. You may be surprised why I did that, as in not show up, cancel them a few days in advance. So you want to see that. I've been in my rig now for 30 months, continuously living in this van. And 2018 October is when we took delivery, and I have not been overly gentle with Lily, the name of my van. So you might be curious why I canceled the appointment. And if you're looking for a quality story, Winnebago kind of hit a home run with my rig. So check that out. And we got Route 66 stuff coming up like crazy. So stay tuned for that. Got news headlines, viewer recommendations. But tonight's really all about your questions. So let's take a few of your questions live, and I'll do my best to answer those. And then we'll get to our viewer question of the week, all about YouTubing gear for RVers. And I don't think it's even really just for YouTubing. It's what, do you want to take better pictures? Do you want to have better sound quality in video? Maybe it's just for friends and family or for your own documentation. So we're going to cover that tonight. And let's see. We got a few folks in the house here. Here's Wisconsin coming in. Thomas, good to see you, sir. Appreciate that. This is Beyond Intention, our good friends Chris and Sandy and their awesome cat, Benny. Constitution's the name of their Travado. They've been full-timing for about 8 months now, and it's just their undisclosed location. I guess I am too. Casino parking lot near Tulsa. I guess you can Google that real quick. I don't know. And let's see. Here's Georgia coming in. This is great. Get your questions coming in. It can be on route planning. It can be on RV systems, solar. Well, a solar pack on the roof of a Travado, or really any Class B, charge your battery and run the to allow you to run your air conditioner overnight. That was our topic last week. We kind of know that's not really pragmatic. Let's see. Here's Sherry. I don't think she's in Wisconsin. I think she's got her van and she's roaming around, which is awesome. Yeah, Steve is congratulating Sherry. She picked hers up just like in the last 5 days, so it's really, really great. Like Havasu coming in. That's a fun town. I'm eager to get back to that area of the country. If you're not familiar with Lake Havasu, it's kind of a storied past. The guy bought a bunch of land, needed for people to kind of have a reason to go to Lake Havasu, Arizona. It's kind of the middle of nowhere with a big lake, which is great. So we actually bought the London Bridge. He disassembled the London Bridge from London, England. He boated that thing over here, had to build a rail car line to ship the bridge, and then he reassembled it over Lake Havasu. You talk about an entrepreneur with a big idea. If you build it, they will come. Hello, what's up Wednesday? Look at the people in the house tonight. Thanks for joining. But Lake Havasu, such a cool town. Yeah, Ed, so this is not a question but a statement, but I can answer that. Ed was saying, hoping to meet you at the GNR. Disappointed. Sorry to disappoint. Other plans this year. GNR, if you're not familiar with it, is Winnebago's big rally for all sizes of and types of their rigs. Grand National Rally is what that stands for. And I went the first year that I had my Travado. It was the 50th anniversary. It's in Forest City, Iowa. It's in late July. Obviously, there was no GNR last year due to COVID, but they did have it this year. Hopefully, it was fun. I had a blast. When I went, there was 110 vans, Travados, Eras, all of Winnebago's Class B RVs in the GNR grounds that time, and hopefully, it was a success for everybody. Just had different plans this year. Cape Cod. Can't wait to get to Cape Cod. And oh, here she is. I got corrected by Sherry. Pick embassy next week, and then we'll be roving around. Yeah, I bet you are chomping at the bit, and I'm so excited for you. It's just got to be the greatest feeling, counting down to your day of delivery. So great. So get your questions coming in. Here's the snake saying hello. Hello, snake. That's awesome. By the way, I almost hit a snake. and I managed to avoid a turtle. I'm afraid I did catch a squirrel on Route 66. It's a first road kill. I couldn't believe the turtle. It was like this big lump in the road, and he was not moving. But when you're coming at him at 50 miles an hour on Route 66, but in the same day, snake avoided, turtle avoided, squirrel didn't come out too well. He just couldn't decide which way to go, even though I slowed down. So here's Sparks. So got a good question here on the. So how long is the storage tube for the sewer hose on the Travado? How long a sewer hose can you fit? 10 feet more. How many mils? I'm thinking that's thickness. Camco product. All great questions. So I will tell you that the blue hose that came with my Travado, I think they're still shipping them, is pretty short, and it collapses into that tube. But when you extend it out, it's maybe, I'm gonna guess, that's a guess, 10 feet. But you have to have somebody pulling it like a slinky to get 10 feet out of it. Practical length from valve to sewer hole, which is pretty close, is probably, I'd say 5 feet or less, to really get a good connection on both sides without any issues and stretching too far. What I've done is, my partner Kyle, his RV came with two, I'm going to guess, are 15 feet black hoses. And I can't tell you what a difference those 5 extra feet make. So very comfortably now 10 feet from the sewer outlet on the van to the sewer hole, where you put your hose into, is much more comfortable. And if I could find out who makes it and the part numbers, things like that, I would actually post that. We make that a reviewer recommendation. Maybe I'll take a note for that, because I can't tell you what a difference it makes. Mils, I don't know the thickness. They seem pretty sturdy. My blue hose ran for over 2 years. It was well used. And Camco product, I just don't know the brand of it. There's no brand on the blue one, and there's no brand on the one that I'm currently using. So great question. And what I found is just having a little bit longer sewer hose makes a more confident tank emptying situation. When you pull that that lever valve thing, you want to have a firm sewer connection, and so nothing jumping out. I don't use collars. I don't use elbows. I do it a little bit more manual, but actually gives me more confidence because there's less failure points. I just hold the hose into the sewer hole, and the whole thing's over in 12 seconds, literally. And then you rinse your sandy flush your tank out, and you fill your fresh water, and you're on your way. So it's a great question. Thank you. Let's see. Whoops, got a couple more questions coming here. We're gonna get ready for our big show and tell tonight. Got lost here. Let's see. Stand by, please. Oh, hey, Steve is saying, I love your van tours. Keep them up. Yeah, I need to kind of rename them. I was gonna start calling them open houses, because that's what they really are. It would be maybe a little misleading and people might get confused, so I probably won't call them open houses. I'll call them tours, but they're really an open house. So if you're buying a house and there's a realtor standing next to you, and you got to sign in, and you're kind of looking through the rooms, you're trying to see the fit and the finish and the quality and the floor plan. You're not looking at the foundation. You're not talking about how many BTUs your air conditioner puts out. You're not talking about, cellular connection. You're just walking through the floor plan, trying to visualize if it fits the way you work. And that's the way I do these van tours, because I'm often in a place where I don't have a lot of time, either RV shows or an RV dealer lot. I might not even get permission sometimes, and I get in and just trying to give you an open house tour of the van. The specs change often, even on the manufacturer websites, they say that. So I don't want to start talking about tank sizes and lithium, all this stuff that could cloud the floor plan experience, which is what I'm trying to do, just like a terrestrial open house. So Steve, I really appreciate that. I've gotten some negative feedback, but I'm going to keep rolling. And what I do with the tours is, at the end, I put on the current pictures of the manufacturer's putting up and the specs, so you can check that out. And if you have specific questions on how many feet is it, I might capture that. I'm trying to capture the price tag for you, MSRP, which we know is kind of iffy, but iffy meaning it's not real pricing. What the market will bear is just what they're suggesting. So when you see $175,000 for Class B, you're not going to pay that, I'm pretty sure. So great question, or great comment. I really appreciate that. We got a bunch more coming up. We got Nova by Nova by Coachman. We got Beyond by Coachman. We got part 2 of the Embassy RV coming up in the next few days. So trying to really balance Route 66, van tours, and van life tips. So let's keep rolling. Some good questions coming in, but I promised you to talk about the question of the week, which is this one right here, because I want to get this kind of out on the situation. So here's the viewer question, and this comes from, and I apologize, I don't know how to say it, Sia H. Take a drink. Can you give us an update on all the camera equipment, including phone and gimbal stuff for your recordings? Thanks. Maybe make a video on all the camera equipment. Your wish is my command, and let me show you what this is all about tonight, because it's been an evolution. Here's what not to do. Fall for the trap that I did with the YouTube channels that talk about gear reviews and all this stuff in the context of being a YouTuber. I spent well over probably close to $4,000 on the stuff these guys were recommending. And some were good, and some were just wastes of money, as it turned out. So what I started with was a big old Canon DLSR 70, big, heavy, you gotta have the SD cards. Nothing worked with my equipment, like my computer. So it was just a big microphone. It was a mess. I thought I was all excited. Thought I was getting into the, I don't know, commercial video business or something. Made a video, and in Missoula, Montana, probably about, I don't know, 12, 18 months into it, I shipped all that back to home base. FedEx promptly lost it. Good thing I insured it. Got my $2,000. What I've been using since is my iPhone. My good old-fashioned iPhone. Oh, there's nothing old-fashioned about it, really. This is the best one, the iPro, or the Max, iPhone 12 Pro Max, because it has a 3-camera system. And what that allows me to do is take really awesome photos and really awesome video. I do HD, but I don't do the 4K. Just the size of the files are so huge. Nobody wants to see my wrinkles that close anyway. And so that's my phone, my camera tool. And that's kind of easy, sort of obvious. And if you've been watching my content, you probably really can't notice any different than the other people using, DLSRs. But why? Because it's in my pocket, because it's light, long battery life. I can flip the screen around. And so that's kind of an obvious no-brainer there, right? But it gets a little more complicated. Let me talk about it. So let's talk about mics. Sound is probably the most important thing in my opinion, next to lighting. Sometimes it's a ball toss on which one is actually more important. But let's talk about sound quality, because I've kind of been missing this for a while now. So what I started with is this mic. This is by Rode, R-O-D-E. And I had to put this on like a tripod thing, and that my phone would snap into. And it was good. The problem is you had to have all this gear, right? You see this big thing? So it's got this little bit. So this is on top of your tripod, and it's got this little bouncy thing. And then you put your dead cat or your windsock, whatever you want to call it, on this thing. So it's kind of obvious. I was roaming around. I got questions, and and you have to have the RCA jack here for the headphones, right? And then another thing to plug into your iPhone. And I just found it to be clumsy, right? You get these for $59. They still work. What I've discovered, and this is part of the whole thing, is evolution. All I'm trying to do is minimize to the smallest common denominator to get a good product for you to watch. So I went from this big old, sorry, get there, to this thing. Look at this, right? They look similar, right? Pretty darn similar. The difference is, this look doodad right here. This thing's got a Lightning connector. So what I can do is I can plug this right into my phone. Yeah. And then whatever way I'm recording, if I'm recording, so the camera's facing out toward you, I plug my thing like this, and it picks up my voice. The problem with this thing is that it's not powered, so I have to ump the audio in the video, but nonetheless it works really well. So whether I'm doing selfie mode like this or looking at that, the microphone's pointed at my mouth and it's picking me up, and it's pretty good, very directional. This is $99, so I would highly recommend this. I keep this in my backpack, so at a moment's notice if there's some cool stuff and I want better audio quality than what this does, which is actually not too bad, but if there's wind, not great. This windsock fits on this bad boy too, so it works out really well. So that's what I call a wired mic. It's it's right into the phone itself. But wireless is better. Wireless is better. Why? Well, So you can be moving around and your phone is stationary. So the next thing I did is I moved from, I've added to my collection Rode mic. So this is Rode, R-O-D-E, Wireless Go. Wireless Go is the brand, and it's kind of the same deal here. So what I Velcro onto my tripod, and then this where my phone is connected, right? And then this plugs into the Lightning port. You know, someday Apple will get on the USB-C train with their deal here. So that kind of fits nicely. And this is the receiver for the transmitter, which is this doodad. And this doodad is this is the lapel mic, lavaliere mic. So you see a little microphone there. So this goes kind of inside the shirt, and you have a little thing like a newsroom, right? And this is the transmitter picking up this guy that's on the phone, and I can be quite a ways away. And I love this setup. It's got a little tiny little windsock there. You can see it, whoa, just barely. And these work really well. What's really kind of cool about this thing is, you see me with this, and I'm actually getting away from this a little bit, is that this thing is handheld, and this thing pops off like that. And then this little guy, which is the microphone part, right, slides in just like this. And then this thing goes, and now I'm CNN, right? Vanlife Scott, go small, live large, getting all the good news to share with you. And I do like this. It was fast. It was kind of shotgun approach, and you've seen this in some of my stuff with Embassy RV and some of the van tours lately. The problem is the audio is great when somebody's doing this, a little too hot, and when I'm the other side of the camera and they're pointing this way, all the audio is terrible, and I got to do a bunch of stuff. So was looking for a new solution. I think I found one. We'll see. But those are what I would recommend. So if you want to do wireless, this is a great solution. And this thing is, look at my notes, is $278 for this bad boy. I have these on my website, so if you want to just click off, go to GoSmallLiveLarge.com shop. I have these listed. Mine are black. They come in white. I actually wish I had white. I mean, you can see them in the dark. You see them in the bottom of your bag, right? So the lavaliere thing makes all the difference, and is really, really great. But here's what's really kind of exciting, and I have not tested this yet. I've just purchased this. It just arrived this week. Are you ready for this? This is a two-person mic. So I can be mic'd. The other person can be mic'd. We can be a distance away, but the microphones are picking up each other. This is by Movo. And what makes this really exceptional is that this thing plugs into, are you ready for it? The iPhone. Just like that. So now this is the receiver. It doesn't need a battery. Can you see the light blinking? Yeah, you can see the light blinking, right? So no batteries here. These could take, I think it's 2 or 3 AAAs. But this is beautiful. So it's powered by the phone. And again, it's wireless. So that I can have 2 people talking with a mic'd situation right here. So the audio quality, we're getting rid of this thing again, because it's just a better experience. Unless you're running around, doing news style. Chad and Paul picked this up, and they're doing it with some of their adventure van stuff. And so I'm really excited to get this tried out. Again, it comes with this little kit here, and this thing is $200. I wish. Well, I shouldn't wish. So I love that these, offshore brands are kind of coming into vogue. They're kind of giving Rode and Shure a run for their money. What I found is that the quality is pretty good on these, or for my other third-party products, I should put it that way. So we'll give these guys a run for their money and see what they look like. So that's kind of what I do for sound, and what I do for tripods is I have a really big traditional iPod or tripod, and if I need to, I can put this guy on it if I'm not someplace where there's trees. But I love this one. This is by Joby. Can you see that? Joby. And what makes this thing so cool is the iPhone literally snaps into this thing just like this. I actually put it like this. So camera facing you, so that's my pan there. I can see what's going on. And then what makes this super cool is that it's got this gimbal, I don't know what you actually call it, but see how this thing swivels? So I can have the legs in a really weird position, and then I can swivel this thing to get it mostly level. And speaking of level, it's actually got one. So if you're laying in bed and you're watching Go Small Live Large and my stuff is off center, it's not really cool. So we try to keep that level as possible so you don't feel like you're falling out of bed or out of your chair. So it has a level. This thing was like $100, and it's the best $100 I've probably spent all year. Maybe save the microphone situation, we'll see. But I highly recommend this. And this again is where my let's go for another few minutes. I'm almost done. And this is just Velcros to that like that. This plugs into the phone on this side, and you kind of get the idea, right? But I love this. This is just, and this thing wraps around all kinds of things: fence posts, tree limbs, signs. It's just the greatest device. So I highly recommend that. Joby, Joby. Hope I'm saying that right. I do not have that in my store tonight. I realized when I was getting the end of the show today, I didn't have this. I will put this in. And this little guy too. Hard to find. I don't know why these are hard to find. I found this at an Apple store, I think. Okay, just to round out things, we have. Let's talk about editing and thumbnails. So I use a Macintosh computer with iMovie. I am moving away from that. I'm moving to a almost 100% iPad-based workflow, personal and professional. I'm using an M1 iPad, and I'm using LumaFusion to edit on the iPad. And it's a little bit of a learning curve, but I am committed to getting this done. It's going to be better quality videos, way more effects and fun things. And it's kind of interesting that it's all iOS-based. Let me see if I can share this with you quick. And that's what I really, really like, is that it is all iOS and iPadOS based. So it's super interesting to listen as the tutorials that I'm doing, is because it's how my brain is thinking these days. The old Macintosh and laptop computers is so old school by comparison, in my opinion, to the way these new products are coming out. So LumaFusion's $40, my iPad's $2,000 because I maxed it out, and so that's kind of my list on that stuff. And let me go back here, and let's just and then I use Keynote on the iPad. So even the Keynote, the information you're seeing tonight, is all done in Keynote on my iPad, and that's what I use for thumbnails that you see on YouTube. So that's what we're doing there. And let me just bring this back quick, bear with me. And almost done. If you're totally bored, hit that thumb up button twice, and if you're really getting something out of it, give it a thumb up. Just press a button once, that would be awesome. And yeah, let's keep going. Just a few more things I'm going to point out. That's storage. Wait till you see this. Holy cow. So I've been lugging this bad boy around for a long time. LaCie hard drive, 4 terabytes, weighs about, I don't know, probably a pound at least. And it's mechanical hard drive, which is pretty 2005, even, in 1998. It's slow. It was not overly inexpensive when I bought it. I have a bunch of them. It's kind of shock protection, right? But it's got a moving thing in there, so not awesome. And really, hard drives of this nature, I think, are just obsolete. What did I replace it with? Are you ready for this? It's pretty amazing. This little guy here. This is a terabyte. Look at that. It's $129, and it is fast. When I'm transferring a file from my iPad or Mac to one of these storage devices, this takes seconds. This thing takes what seems to be hours, and I am not kidding you. This thing is just, videos are stored in here, safe and secure, but this is the way to go. And for a size comparison, look at this. So I can get 4 terabytes by having one of these guys, but it's going to be still a fraction of what this thing is. So this is $129. This is on my website. Lightweight, connects USB-C right to my iPad, and this has been a game changer. I cannot tell you what a difference this has made from a storage standpoint. And the last thing to point out is, if you're making videos for family and stuff, there's a lot of places you can put them. You put them on iCloud or Dropbox or those kind of things. My thing is to post to YouTube. Duh. So I upload them. That's why high-speed connections are really important. And then I schedule these out so they're planned in advance. But it's really important for folks like you to subscribe to the channel, because when a video is released, unless you subscribe, you will never know it. You just have to kind of find it randomly, or maybe YouTube will serve it up for you if it's a topic you've been shown interest in the past. So subscribe, and then hit the notification bell. So when we do YouTube live like this, or there is a video posted, you'll get notified, so you don't miss a single video on tips like this. And again, Vanlife, van tips, camera tips. Again, you don't need to be a blogger, YouTuber to get some value out of this. I think if you're just trying to make cool memories, if you're just kind of do it like this, right? Everybody does this. Instagram, hate it. This is so much better. Wind noise, just spend a few $100, up your game a little bit, and you have much better memories to share the way you like to share. So thank you, Saya, I think that's how you say your name, I'm not sure, for your awesome question of the week. We went 15 minutes on that. Wow, that was a lot of content. So hopefully you got something out of it. Thumb up, please, if you enjoyed that. Let's get back to your questions, and I'm just excited to see what has been going on. I see a lot of things going on here. So hopefully you found some value in that. And I've been meaning to make a video about that, but we did it tonight in live session. So let's see, here we go. Let's see, so Georgia, we did that one. Stay tuned, folks. I can't find where I left off. Bear with me 1 second. GNR, we talked about that. Yeah, the format here is what Kathy's got. Kathy here. So they help me find their questions quickly. And I just love all the sharing back and forth, by the way. I think it's super cool. It's three asterisks followed by 3 question marks. Kevin Martin, 3 to wake up. You haven't seen his channel lately. He's not doing Van, he's doing Thailand. But hit him up. So looking for water-saving dish tips. I don't like using paper, but I also want to conserve water and great tank space. Great question, Kathy. Actually, I have some content and some specific videos coming up about that. What I have done lately is I've gotten away from the paper and the compostable plastic, and I've gone to actual dishes now. So I've had to learn this. Water saving tips, what I've learned is use a paper towel to wipe everything as clean as possible. Dish, cup, fork, plate, pot. I don't have many pots. I got 1.5. Keep your sponge really soapy. So what do I mean by that is, so when I get my sponge, I put a big dollop of soap on it, and I do the thing. I kind of get the plate or whatever wet, and I do the soap, and then I kind of, when I'm done washing dishes, I squeeze the sponge really hard so that all the water gets out of it, but the soap remains, right? So next time I go, it's ready to go. So the point being is I'm not spending a lot of water washing around, and don't let your water run, number one. That would be another thing. And then when you rinse, just a trickle of water. And you'll get better at this is I kind of wash the outside first, then I wash the inside, and just kind of spin it. What I've found is I can use as much or less water doing a few dishes than cleaning and flossing in the morning, which is pretty amazing because I'm pretty frugal with the water. My black tank fills up faster than the gray, but totally wanting to conserve water because that's what the onboard water is for, in my opinion. Washing hands, toilet, and washing dishes. Not necessarily in that order. But yeah, I have big news coming up. In fact, if you go to my on my website, you'll see that the compostable knives, forks, and spoons have been removed because I am not doing those anymore. More to come on that. So thank you. That's a great question. Hopefully that was helpful. Chad and Paul in their Storyteller, they use a spray bottle. I don't know that it works for them, and I haven't tried that, but I think just wiping everything with a paper towel goes in the garbage, and then just a soapy sponge, quick, and then a real light trickle to rinse is all you need. That's all I've found. It's a great question. Let's see. Well, good questions coming in tonight. This is awesome. Let's see. Looking for, let's get that going. So Michael Clark, I think he's in the Los Angeles area, I believe. Yes, I'm in Tulsa, Oklahoma, in a casino parking lot, running my Volta system, doing the show from a parking lot. Wouldn't believe how many times that actually happens. Why? Because of cellular coverage. It's just amazing. Apostles Island, Wisconsin, that's awesome. So Traveling Kites wants to know, what brand is your bumper guard? Off the top of my head, I don't know. I purchased it through Walmart from a company in California. If you can find that video, all the information is listed there. We've updated that. And last time I looked at that specific brand, it was no longer available, or like out of stock. If you want to search on the shoot an email. Go small live large at gmail.com. I'll see if we can find it for you. But or see that video that I posted. Been a year ago or more. It would have it right there for you. Happy to help you out. I love my bumper guard. I can't tell you, not going to help with turtles, snakes, and squirrels, but other wildlife that might be struck. That's the number one reason why I got it. It looks pretty cool. A few more pounds in the front to help with the bite. Let's see. Michael's got a question here. Thank you for using the format. I know you're not fond of the updates to the 2022 GL, but what item did change on that model do you wish you had on your 2019? There's circulating water is kind of a cool idea. I've solved that with my shower, though. My new shower modification that I did, but that's pretty cool. Man, I'm trying to think. I'm looking at my floor plan for stuff. I'm glad you got one. I'm glad you're on the road. I'm just not a fan of what they did. I'll be curious to see how they react and how the marketplace reacts to that. Man, I'm struggling. I wish I had the fourth module loaded in my Volta system. That's an option on the new one. And if you don't mind investing another $5,000 into your pretty expensive rig, I would get that for sure. That was not an option when I got mine. So I can't tell you what a difference that extra 30% makes when you have running the AC 82 degrees. We're in the shade, which makes a giant difference. But those are a couple things. Of a discussion offline, I guess. I don't know. Great question, though. I'm so proud you got one. I mean, seriously. You're never going to find the perfect RV. And I'm just so proud of you getting going. It's so great. This is a great question. Stormy, thank you. Are you planning to go to any RV shows in the next 8 months or so? If they are in my line of trajectory, yes. The California show, I'm going to miss. That's in early October. I have a pretty set route plan for the rest of the year. So what I've been reading is RV shows are being canceled, not due to COVID, but due to lack of rigs. The Hershey show is going to be going on. That's in Hershey, Pennsylvania. That's the largest show. Tampa likes to say it's the largest, so I'm not sure how each of those measure. It's in early September. The California show is in early October, I think. I'm going to be in northern Idaho in early October is my plan. But if I can find one along the way, what I'm finding is, as part of my Volta duties, and you saw just results of those recently with the Pleasure Way and the Chinook van tours, if there's different rigs on the dealer lot where I'm doing a Volta training, I'll just take some time and do that. That's kind of what we go to RV shows for anyway, right? Is van tours, maybe some manufacturer comments and interviews. But I've got enough folks in the queue and relationships with that we don't need to rely on RV shows. I love going to them, though. There's no doubt about it. So if they're in my trajectory, if you know any in your area, let's see, we're doing Route 66. So Oklahoma City, Amarillo, Flagstaff, San Bernardino, Pasadena. I love the song. All the hot spots. Great question. Thank you for that. We're doing RV news headlines here in just a couple minutes. A few more good questions calling in. So Sparks is saying, how about calling the van tours van scans? That's not bad. Somebody may misread that as van scams, but I like open house because that's really what it is. But that may get folks confused. Thank you for that suggestion. I really appreciate it. Oh my God, this is funny. Traveling kites. Yikes! Worry about breaking off the connector inside the phone. Actually, I had another one of these previous, and I dropped the phone, and it snapped. And what broke was it came right out, thank God. But great point. You have to be super careful. What broke is this little thing right here. So this is for shotgun, really fast and fast and furious. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, Design in Australia. They make a great product. I've had a lot of road equipment, and it's the stuff I keep using over and over. So I'm a little curious to see how this guy does. Movo. because it gets complex. I just don't understand why the other guys can't figure out something simple like this. This solves the whole problem. Everybody else using two mics has a traditional camera, and there's all this stuff, and I don't want stuff. It's just, I don't want it. So, oh, he's saying that it's got the two mics. Well, we'll give the $199 solution a run for it, and then we'll see how that goes. Good question, Michael Clark. Does Movo have the same setup for the? Yes, is the answer. Samsung is called out specifically in the instructions with Android. So check that out. Maybe we should link to both. That's a good point. I am definitely a fan of the Apple product. So not discriminating for sure. Just don't think of the other guys. Sorry. Let's see. A couple more questions here. This is great. Yeah, if you can help us with the format, Dave, that would let me see your question. So it's 3 asterisks followed by 3 question marks. It's changing careers. Once you get a job working remotely, this is going to be a great segue for our RV News of the Week. So I go full-time and travel U.S. in my 2019 59G. Congratulations on that. Any suggestions or comments on where to start? Dave from KC, Kansas City. Kansas or Missouri? I always get confused. Separated by a river. Not sure what you mean by start. Changing careers, I would say probably an information job, or a job like where you can go to a physical location for a few weeks or months and then move on to the next one. Traveling nurse, Beyond Attention, she's a traveling nurse, so they kind of do a multi-week or a multi-month program there. I would say kind of refigure how you can remotely work and establish those criteria up front with a new employer. We live in a very dispersed work environment right now. Thank you, COVID. Probably one of the great things that came out of it was the wall of no. Tall and thick, can I work from home? Now everybody's figured out that I can do a pretty good job from just about anywhere, including an RV, anywhere I want to be. Internet connectivity being the big deal. But if you want to kind of clarify that for me, suggestions on where to start, I'd be happy to go into that a little bit deeper. But great question. I'd love to help you enable that. I just can't tell you what a game changer it is. Just so enriching to life to go, see, do, meet. It's just so amazing. So good question here from Spark Sky. How does the Joby gimbal? Oh, I didn't even talk about my gimbal. Attached to the traditional iPod or tripod. So this just wraps around the head of the traditional tripod, and that's what I would use for this. What I'm beginning to use, and it's a little bit of a learning curve, is this bad boy. I didn't even talk about this. This is the Osmo 3, and your phone goes here, and this thing powers up. And what it does, it takes all the rocking motion out of the video. So whether I'm doing something, walking, it's a smooth video. If I'm stationary with this, and I would do the same thing. I have a big a tie wrap. I would wrap this to my my tripod or to a tree or something like that. It has a little bit of a stand here. You can see that. But if I want it up eye level, I would just wrap it to something with this big twist tie thing I have, and then it will actually follow me. Kevin Martin uses this a lot. It's a little bit of a learning curve, so I'm hoping to start using this a lot more, because this really will make, I think, really great content for you. So this is not that expensive. It's like it's $150 or less. There's an Osmo 4 out now. What's cool about this is it folds down like that, and if I unscrew the this actually fits in my backpack. So with that and maybe a tie wrap, I can actually get rid of this big boy, which is cool. I put it on the outside of my backpack, but this takes care of the problem of that bounce motion that we all hate to see in a video. So that's what I'm doing on that. Great question. So let's do RV news quick. I think this is kind of fascinating. It goes right to Dave's question here. And let me see if I can get this pulled over here. So let me zoom in for you. And this is, I found this on Black Enterprise website. It was a Google news feed on Vanlife that hit me. And what caught my eye is this gal, 28 years old, lives in a van, earns over $300,000 a year as a UX designer. UX is short for user experience. And I would encourage you, Dave, to kind of check out this article. What she did is she kind of reinvented her life around her job. What she does is she has 3 different clients she works with, and project-based. Making $100,000 for several projects over the course of a year is not unusual. It's a really well-paid A very important job. Coding is very important in the app, but if you've experienced a crappy app, that means the user experience designer didn't know what they were doing very well. And it's all about the UX. User experience dictates the UI, the user interface. And the rule of thumb is two or three taps, you should get to what you want, is all it should take. And you shouldn't have to fuss and fumble and dig for data. So again, let me zoom in here for you. But what this gal did is reinvent her life. Her name is Jasmine, and senior product design. So she has 3 clients, paying her about $100K a year, and to do project work, and she lives out of her van. And it's a pretty inspirational article. I would encourage you to go look at that. She was very intentional, like me, about going full-time, working from the road, which makes it really important to understand your floor plan, what your needs are going to be as a digital nomad like she is. And I am not making 300 grand a year, by the way, but I am super proud of this gal doing it right, reinventing her life. And she says right in the article that this may not go on forever. It may only go on for a few years, but she is doing life on her terms. And if you, the last quote there, if you haven't seen that, is you should do all the things you want to do now. That's why she's living the van life. And I'm so proud of so many folks getting on the road, getting their stuff in gear. Don't have to do it full time, but just getting in a van, in an RV, and getting going. But RV News headline, this is on my website. You can click over. And Black Enterprise, thank you for showcasing a gal doing it right, making pretty good dough, right? Pretty amazing. RV News headlines, we'd love to showcase those things. Get a few more questions coming in, and then we've got viewer recommendation of the week. So let me scan for some questions here. Oh, Dave's saying good overview of the gear. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. It can get super technical and bore most people to death, but I'm glad you got value out of it. And I think it's important to share this stuff. And this is real stuff, guys and gals. I recommend only stuff that I use and have found value in, and stuff that, served its purpose. I'm not recommending those anymore. That's just how we roll, right? Yeah, editing is fun. That's kind of the magic of storytelling, right? And there's 2 sides to that. Capturing the content to make editing easier to tell a better story without having to redo a bunch of stuff. Trying to get better at that with the travel thing now. But for every 5 minutes, well, 10 minutes for sure, that you see on YouTube, there's at least 5 hours behind that of editing time, let alone capture time. So it's a giant lift. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So Sparks guy wants to know, how big is the drive on the iPad to support video editing, or is everything else external? Great question. So my M1 iPad is a terabyte, so I went all in. Why? So I could store stuff locally. So I'm not having to. At that point, I was using this thing. I mean, I literally have just bought this bad boy within the last two weeks. It's been on my shopping list for well over a year. My business mentor, Steve Priestman, said, get a flash drive style terabyte plus, and what are you doing with this thing? So 1985. And he was so right. I'm a knucklehead, bonehead, slow learner. So it's kind of fascinating. This is the same amount as my iPad, but I store stuff locally so that I can do things, then I offload them to this thing for actual storage. So so that's how I do that. So the external is really just long-term storage. Great question. And by the way, this is fast enough to upload right to YouTube, and my iPad as well. This thing couldn't do it. Spun too slow. So great question. Kind of geek night. Go small, live large. That's kind of cool. I like it. Sometimes I geek out on this stuff, but some of the reviewers I like is Think Media. That guy's really good. Although I did kind of fall for his trap of buying a bunch of stuff, clicking his Amazon stuff, which is cool. I learned a lot. But just don't fall. It's a little bit like your storage cabinets, right? Buy as you go. Don't go out and buy a whole, outfit of a residential house for your van. Just buy as you go. Maybe bring a few things from your house. And I did the opposite. I bought all this equipment, thinking I was going to carry all this stuff with me. Oh my gosh, what was I thinking? Hey, Fridays Forever, good to see you. Thank you for dropping by. Here's Arkansas Tracy. I think we're going to see you this week, sir. That's going to be awesome. So this is kind of interesting. So merry-go-round. So here's what I would suggest for you here. There's a couple things you can do. If you're on Apple's platform, there's iCloud. You can send a link. It does have to be uploaded to iCloud. Then you send them a link and they can download it. The other thing you can do is I think in Vimeo and certainly YouTube, you can upload it again and then have a private link, and you send only that link, and then only the person with the link can see the video. So you don't have to do public stuff on YouTube. You can do a private, because trying to email, you'll never get it. These files are ginormous. I just did one that was the Embassy Part 2, 40 minutes. Woo, big video. It's like 8 gigabytes. So you'd never get that through an email system. So upload it, share a link through, like iCloud has one, and Vimeo and YouTube. Private links, only those with that link can see the video. That's what I'd recommend there. So Michael Clark saying that the Dawn spray works great, a game changer. So maybe the same idea as my soapy sponge. I think you still need to scrub though. I don't know. Always looking for a better mousetrap, clearly. This is a great question. Then we're going to do our recommendation of the week. So Richard wants to know, how well does the drain work from Amazon? What Richard's talking about here in all the Travado's G floor plans up to the 2022 had a shower pump drain. The problem, in my opinion, with the shower drain situation was not the pump. The problem was the filter. There's 2 filters. One in the basin of the floor plan in the shower itself. It was like an aerator faucet filter that plugged up in about 2 seconds. And then you're standing in water. Not awesome. Terrible design. And there was a really ingenious Travado owner that 3D printed for $30 you can buy from Amazon that replaces that ridiculous shower thing that had that little filter in it. So I took the filter out, then I used cheesecloth for mine until I got this 3D printed one, and it works beautifully. I'm telling you, it works beautifully. Oh my God. That with the residential style shower head, it's a luxurious Class B shower. All 6 gallons of it. Or is it 2.5 gallons? I think it's 2.5 gallons of hot water. I always run out of things to wash and rinse before I run out of hot water. The second filter, though, is under the galley. And that one, I am able to go through about 5 to 7 showers, depending on how clean I get the floor before I shower. And that's just kind of a bugaboo. And what I think Winnebago could have done, instead of what they did, is do a 3D printed thing, leave it a pump in there, and then the pump, the filter would kind of flip out like your sponge drawer in your kitchen sink. A lot of those just have a little thing that tips out, and I think they could have done the same thing with some tubing, so you get to access to that filter, clean it really easily, instead of having to empty your galley cabinet or remove the floor of the cabinet and then kind of get in there and get it cleaned. It's not very convenient. But it's working great. I'd highly recommend it. We've talked about it on the show a couple of times, so go get one. It's so amazing. What I'm experimenting with is actually caulking around that with some silicone so that the water kind of puddles up under it. And you need to kind of unscrew it and get the water out because it kind of goes sour and gets a little nasty. So great question. I can't remember if I did a video or will do a video on that. But okay, let's talk about the viewer recommendation of the week. And this comes from me. And this is because I just got off an airplane. And let me tell you, I love RV travel. Travel by airplane. I forgot, it's the first time I've been on a plane in probably over 1.5 years, how annoying traveling by airplanes is. And so what I'm recommending here, this is the Weekender Duffel. It's by Schaefer Outfitter. It's actually made in Fort Worth, Texas. Every component of this is made in Fort Worth, Texas, USA. The zipper, the leather, the brass, it's a canvas bag. And what makes it so special for me is I take it to the shower houses, I take it to the gym, I take it on airplanes, and what's great about it is it kind of collapses. So I actually went to Europe for 2 weeks with this duffel bag. Expensive, yes, because it's made in America, quality stuff. It's going to last a lifetime. I am not gentle to this thing, and let me tell you, it looks like the day I bought it. It's just the most amazing bag. So if you're looking for a collapsible, suitcase that you can take everywhere, a duffel bag, if you want to run with a, $40, $50, $100 versions, that's great. But if you're looking for something really well made in America by Texans for, quality conscious people, I really recommend this duffel bag. I put this on my website as well. I didn't get no money from these guys. I just fell into them by accident, found them by accident when I was in the stockyards, Fort Worth. Still have a video I owe them, and for no compensation, just cool stuff. So that's my viewer recommendation of the week. How are we doing on time? Ooh, we got a few more minutes. I don't know how this hour goes so fast. Let's see what other questions we have here. Great questions tonight. Great audience. Thumb up. Hey, if you learned anything tonight, give it a thumb up. If you really didn't like anything about it, hit that button twice. Appreciate that. Comment on the video after it posts live, and subscribe to the channel. All we're doing here is we learn together, we share together. I don't know everything, that's for sure, and then it helps you be a better RVer, whether you're still researching, you're part-time, just taking days, weeks, months, or full-timing like me. It's pretty awesome. That's how we roll. Tulsa, whoa, hopefully you can see us Thursday night, or tomorrow afternoon. We're doing a roundup, doing a little short drive through Route 66 and parts of Tulsa. Then we're going to Hank's Hamburgers. They've been serving hamburgers, I think, since 1949 or 59 at this stop on Route 66 in Tulsa. I hope you can join us for that tomorrow, David. Go to my website and sign up there. Let's see. Cattleman Steakhouse. Yeah, I'm going to run out of... Yes, that's on the list. Thank you. Oklahoma City, Cattle Steakhouse, and that's where the caravan's ending at, is the Cowboy Museum. Super excited about that. Yeah, Steve, I'm going to agree to disagree with you here. I love my my system outside. I'm excited to hear yours. Maybe I've been wrong. That's what I know. But I love those speakers, and I use 2 Apple HomePods when I'm running the inverter or plugged in shore power. So 2 Apple HomePods, wirelessly connected, and but it's really kind of cool to have the van closed up and have nice music outside. But I'd love to hear your system. I don't know any better than what I have, but it works out pretty good. That's why yeah. Let's see, a couple more questions here. Let's see. So Adobe Premiere Rush is a cool simplified editing suite that works on the Mac, PC, iPad, and phone. Good to know. The LumaFusion is really well rated. I'm going to give it a go. But if you have other ideas, I'm all ears. I'm going to invest in the learning curve on the LumaFusion. But anything that's iPad specific is going to be iPad first, and I just have to roll with that. You know, if you're trying to do across all these things, it's usually a watered down UI, user interface, and the UX, the user experience, suffers, is my experience. So it should be OS specific to deliver really the best experience. So that's my rule of thumb there. Good point, though. I'll check it out. Yeah, so here's Beyond Tension saying, love Scott's G-Drain. I think you have one too, right? I can't remember. But yeah, it's just, what a game changer. Holy cow. Here's Traveling Slim in his Solus, chilling. That's so awesome. The Solus is really cool rig. Impressive floor plan. So I'm glad you are enjoying that. Whoops, we're at the additional week. So as we kind of wind down the show, just want to share this with you. We're needing your help. Looking for van builders. I got quite a big list. Some of you have actually reached out to me. One of you even made an introduction, which is amazing. Thank you for that. But we are looking for van builders, so I can bring you more craft builders, in addition to the big guys. Very important. And hey, if you're into van life, if you are into researching, if you're trying to backstop your family's what the heck are you doing mindset, have them subscribe to the channel. If everybody recommended one person and they subscribed, we would go from 15,000 to 30,000 in like 30 days. And that would be amazing. This comes from my partner Kyle. He's like, I want you to ask for a referral. It's a good point. Let's ask for it. So if you can help us out, we'd love to get to 30,000 by the end of the year. That would be a major milestone. Let me zoom in here for you. We're also looking for Vanbury campout host sites. Got a couple from it already. And the reason we want Vanbury campouts, that's where we come together for a night or two. To do these in state parks, to do these in RV parks is really laborious to get everybody lined up, or in a circle would be super cool with a bonfire in the middle and kind of a community host point. We see the storyteller guys doing this all the time. I'm super jealous. And you just need land. You need private land. And if you know of somebody or have a situation like that, we don't need we don't need any resources. So everybody should come self-contained. We just need space. that we can camp on for 24, 48 hours, something like that. So hit me up. So it's GSLL viewer recommendation at gmail.com. And behind the scenes tours. If you have some special access to things that people would find cool, I just never forget we're the Russos in their van going to NASA and or the Kennedy Space Center, I think it was, and getting a behind the scenes tour that she shared out with everybody. That's the kind of stuff I love doing, and we'll do more of that. 7 o'clock, how time flies. And the last thing is being an audience angel. Now, we just love those folks, and those are the ones that kind of invite me in, like Mike and Janice and I. They invited me in for a couple nights here in Oklahoma City. The Ginger Walkabout is going to be staying with me and Mike and Janice on their property outside of Oklahoma. So what that does, it just allows us to spend a little more time together. Gives me a few days just to kind of chill. Even if it's just one night, that's fine. Driveway is just fine. Don't need shore power necessarily unless it's 86 degrees out in the sunlight, in which case shore power is certainly welcome. But you can help us out there. Appreciate that. We'll look for a few more questions and we'll wind down here. We've got the song of the week. Oh my gosh, this one's been on my mind. I'm going to share this with you. Let's see. Scanning. We'll go a few minutes over tonight. Stay with me. Steve's given us all the things he loves about his 22 GL, which I love for that. Thank you for that. Sometimes when you don't have what you don't miss what you don't have, right? Good question here, and we have Route 66 content coming out in the next 72 hours. But I'm learning as I go. This travel stuff is really hard. So Tim wants to know, Scott, what's the most interesting thing you've seen on your Route 66 tour so far? What are you looking forward to on your visit and your remaining journey? We'll go for another 10 minutes or so, folks. I get asked this. It's kind of like, where's your favorite place you've been in your van, or who's your favorite kid? It's all been super interesting to me. What I think I've found most interesting is the juxtaposition of contemporary travel by vehicle versus the way it was in the 30s and the 40s. What do I mean by that? Certainly coming out in Illinois, coming out of Pontiac all the way almost to Springfield, Illinois, Route 66 parallels Interstate 55. And to see two lanes, both ways of traffic doing 80 miles an hour versus what we'd know as a state route or a county road today, which was Route 66 back in the day. Narrow, twisty, no flattening of elevation, no shoulders on the roads. And you couldn't go 80 miles an hour. And they were in steel cars that were like tanks, probably terrible gas mileage. They didn't go super fast really, but just the modern transportation that we take for granted versus the way they traveled then, and the infrastructure around that mode of travel. And to think somebody had to take a county road, Route 66, U.S. highway, from Chicago to LA on that kind of a road had to be laborious at best. And that's where these cool things sprung up. Gas stations, burger joints, motels. What I've found interesting about those three things is they come in three flavors right now. Either totally abandoned and ruins, basically, or they're still operating with a pretty severe state of decay. Maybe they've updated the sign to get people to stop and take a picture, or they've been totally restored, like the gas stations and even the motel that I drove past on Route 66 here in Tulsa. They've actually restored this amazing hotel. We'll stop there and get a van picture. They put a Chevy, 55 Chevy, out front, the Bel Air or whatever it is, turquoise. And I think if we just, as a society, paid a little more attention to our history, it just helps us feel more fortunate for what we have and remembers the way things used to be, and which makes us a little more fortunate for what we actually have versus kind of griping about it. There was 2 points of really emotional for me. I just love this question. Thanks for asking it. 3 points, really. When I was coming out of Pontiac, and the caravan folks will know this, there's a turnaround point where you can do kind of a selfie on the pavement of Route 66, which has kind of been maintained, so it's not the original pavement. But if you go around the sign, breaking the law, yes, I know, where it says road dead end, I actually drove for about 90 seconds on the original pavement of Route 66 outside of Pontiac, Illinois. And for me, that was really, really emotional. And then to parallel on the current Route 66, which is not the original pavement, to see that road, so current, old Route 6, and then the freeway, was really emotional. And you'll see in the video that the original pavement, the dead Route 66, for a few seconds, you pass a cemetery. So as Kyle was my passenger, I'm like, how many people in that cemetery actually drove Route 66 back and forth? Didn't have to go to LA all the time, but maybe they just went to Chicago, drove that route. So to see dead people next to a dead highway bordered by two lanes of commerce was really emotional for me. And the third thing was really emotional was when we went to Pontiac, Illinois. They have an amazing, best I've seen yet, a Route 66 museum. If you're in the Chicagoland area, go to Pontiac, Illinois. It's a Harvest Host site. Stay the night. Check out that museum. 2 reasons. Well, 3. 1, amazing selfie point with the world's biggest Route 66 sign on the route. You can take a selfie with your van. You'll see that in the video. Number 2, Pat Waldmeyer, oh my God, I can't believe it's Pat, right? Has his original bus as there in the museum. He went back and forth for decades on Route 66. Pat Waldmeyer, right? We actually met his brother at Cozy Dog in Springfield. Couldn't believe it. You'll see that on the video. But was super emotional, and thanks to Roger and Jane, because I was going to skip it, was the 3rd floor of the museum, which was military. Military tribute to the people from that county. They gave their all across all World War I, II, Vietnam, even recent Iraq conflicts, in their uniforms. So the uniforms of those soldiers, men and women, were on these mannequins with all their what do you call them, fruit salad, all their medals. And I'm getting chills just talking about it. I was so moved by being in the presence of those people and their history. It just is an exclamation point on Route 66. It's just so important to know the past, so we don't repeat the past sometimes. And you'll see that. I scanned the room, and it was super emotional to me. I could barely say thanks even now. Great question. So more to come. Literally, we are just getting started. I got so much content. I just need. So after I get to Oklahoma City, we're gonna sit for about a few days, and so I get all caught up on the editing. I don't want to get the content captured too far ahead of the edited stuff. So great. Thank you for asking that. I appreciate that. We'll go a few more minutes here. Sparks wants to know open house versus van scans. I'm just afraid van scams is going to bring up all kinds of stuff we don't want. It's a cool idea, though. Open house is a little misleading too. It's just so associated with a terrestrial house. So tours they are, but maybe we'll do a poll. That's a good idea. We can do that. Let's see. Scanning for questions. Take that off. Thank you. You guys enjoyed this tonight, ladies and gentlemen? We had a pretty good crowd tonight. Appreciate that. Hey, Kathy, thanks for joining a live feed. What do you think? Let's see. So, Cigar Mist is kind of interesting. So, question, I just want to comment that I had the fortune to rent a Travado, non-lithium. My issue was fuel economy. I calculated as only getting 12, 13 miles a gallon. Is this typical? I'd say in the city, yes. Or if you're going up and down inclines, yes. I typically get about 15 on the highway, 15, 18, kind of depends. It really depends what gear you're in. You probably discover that it wants to downshift to 5th gear a lot if there's any bit of a headwind or any bit of an incline. I literally drove across Kentucky, Indiana, Tennessee, Montana in 5th gear. I just left it in 5th gear. I don't speed. I take the back roads. Hot tip. In the city, definitely 12. Don't punch it when you're leaving. I'm always the slowest guy out of the gate at a stoplight, and irritate people on the highways because I'm the slow guy. But yeah, that sounds about right. It's sure better than the Class C's and A's, which you get about from 5 to 9. But you're hauling around 8,500 pounds of house. So, which is what my sports car gets. A Mercedes 2-door sports car gets worse gas mileage than my Van Lily. So yeah, I'd say that's about right. Depending on how much you were hauling and what kind of terrain you were traversing, I'd say that's about right. Maybe some other like beyond detentions can share their gas mileage. Here's the way I look at the gas. I mean, it's a freedom element. I'm not buying a van to be efficient. I'm not. That's why I always say that. Gas mileage is not my priority in the van. Freedom, exploration, experience, I think most of them are going to get about the same. The Sprinters on diesel, you're going to get a little bit better. But I can tell you, driving Kyle's Sprinter-based diesel, B+, C-, big old thing, is just a few miles per hour or miles per gallon ahead of me on a diesel. So, and his is kind of a pain to drive because you got to hit the gas and you got to wait for the thing to spool up, or at least the ProMaster's gasoline, hit the gas and it goes. Great question. But don't let the fuel efficiency, fuel mileage derail your plans. I think it's a price of freedom, just like having Wi-Fi. And great question, though. I think I've forgotten everybody's tonight. Oh, U.S. Coast Guard. Yeah, they actually were in that museum too, I think. Kind of one of the unsung heroes of the military branches, right? So thank you for your service, sir. And birthday. I did not know that. The things you learn on What's Up Wednesday. So let me share the song of the week, and we're just going to do a quick wrap here in just a minute. So this song was served up by Apple Music, and it's a haunting song, and has this amazing piano piece in the middle, and a really famous pianist did it. His name's escaping me right now. But this came out, gosh, I don't remember when, early 70s maybe. But it is a poignant song because all by myself in the van, right? I kind of like that. It's okay. But if you haven't heard this lately, and he's got a couple of really popular songs over the years, Eric Carmen, All By Myself, spin that up and see if you don't play that more than once. It's a pretty haunting song, and I just love music. It's so enabling on the as part of Vanlife. Listen to podcasts and news. It just lets my brain go, right? And I have music on all the time. How about this for the pet pick of the week? Beyond Intentions will recognize this. Yes, this is Benny, the Van Panther. Looking for pet picks. This one's awesomely staged. Chris, I wonder how long you actually had to work to get Benny to sit still like that on that fence rail. That is pretty awesome. We would love to see your pet picks. GSLL viewer recommendation at gmail.com. Flood my email with songs of the week, viewer recommendations. We had some great ones here, including the 3D print G floor plan drain, and of course the pet picks. We just love the pet, the cats. There's a cat at the RV park I was just at because I was flying to Florida for a family thing for 4 days, and the cat just brought me right back to I can't wait to get a cat. Just can't wait to get a cat. So okay, is that it? I think we got yeah, that's coming up next. Okay, let me just scan one last scan. We went a little over time. Thank you for your patience. Hopefully you found some value in this tonight. Again, thumb up if you did. Helps me know you liked it. Helps YouTube share it out. Hit it twice. Once, twice. If you didn't like a thing about it and you made it this long, I wonder what you didn't like about it. But with that, we... So Chris is saying, oh no, he poses for me like a model. And you pose for a model like that too, which is kind of fun. In fact, I was with a bunch of teenage girls this week as part of the family thing. And all you have to do with teenage girls is just hold your phone up, and guess what? They strike a pose. It is the funniest thing I've ever seen. I'm like, would you like your picture taken? The next thing is, do Instagram. I'm like, Instagram style. Okay, got it. All right, so with that, we say thank you for joining us on another live Q&A Vanlife weekly show, What's Up Wednesday. Thank you for watching the replay. Appreciate that. Comment where you're watching from. And as always, send in your recommendations. GSLL viewer recommendation, pet picks, viewer recommendations, song of the week, and question of the week gets extracted from YouTube questions and comments. So that's how we do that. So until we see you next time, I wish you to... have a great day, and wish you to journey on, get on the road, Route 66, follow us, watch for these crazy videos coming up. Until then, we'll see you soon.